Take me home, black light, to the place I belong. In Africa, that's where I.
Hey everybody, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Petra joining you here from Highway 6 to Africa. Not by myself, I'm here with my lovely co-host TYB. We are missing one musketeer, but we are here and happy to join you this wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Every single Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. So yes, TYB, what's going on? How are you?
I am good. Thanks for asking. Finally, we are in the summer.
Mmm.
We've been
Finally.
talking about how cold the weather was, back and forth, left, right, and center. But at long least, we are seeing a glimpse of it. If it doesn't change, because I won't take anything for granted, Miss Grant. Yeah, I won't take anything for granted. So, so far so good. It's been a very wonderful week, great week, and we're so glad that we are alive. There are so many things to talk about. When we come here, it's so easy because we can pick and choose what we want to do. So, the listeners, we are here to, talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. And how's your week?
Yeah, my week was pretty good actually. Just like you, so thankful that we finally have the warm weather in Toronto. Oh my gosh. The week before we were wearing our winter coats saying, is this June? You know what I mean? But yeah, now flip flops in full effect. You know what I'm saying? Like short sleeves. So yeah, definitely happy, enjoying
I'm
it.
in my polo t-shirt, A
I
gift
see
from a gift from my son for Father's Day,
that. Aww,
Yeah, I've been wearing it every day.
aww. What a lovely, lovely gesture. Yes.
That's ready. That's ready. The week has been
Yeah,
great. It's been good. And by the way, Ron is not here.
I know.
Oh,
Third
this man.
musketeer.
Yes. Yeah, Ron says he's on a bike race.
You better win, Ron.
That's right, Ron. You better come back with something. Other than that, yeah, you know what will happen to you. Bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. Ron, we know you're going to be bringing in something. But hey, Ron, we miss you already. What
Yeah,
about?
we do. Honestly, Ronald.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I know.
but I know you're here in spirit. So,
So what do we have to talk about? We have a lot to talk about. Whenever we come here, we have so much to talk about.
so much to talk about, honestly. And
Mhm.
we definitely, well, if for all of those listeners all over the world, we definitely got to shout out our Canadians. You know what I mean? Because in a few days is Canada Day. So, shout out to the Canadians. That's our Independence Day. You know what I mean? July 1st. So shout out to them. And also shout out to the Americans as well, So they're going to be having July 4th on Friday. So
Tariff weekend. Yeah.
yeah. So
Tariff.
yeah, definitely a great opener to the beginning of July, right, TYB?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's a great, yeah, it's a great way to start the year. But I can't believe we are almost getting to Christmas.
Oh my God. TYB, don't.
I know, folks. I cannot believe that we are getting ready to go to Christmas. Can you believe that? Well, we shall see. But all the same, time has run so fast for us, and well, we are sort of blowing in it, and we have to do that because nobody has control over. Nobody has control over whatever we go through, Miss Grant. Yes, nobody knows. I can't believe that it's summertime and we are getting into Christmas.
The shock kicked me right out of the stream.
Well, folks, start buying your Christmas presents.
No, no. TYB, I just said to you, I'm happy. Okay. This is my first week actually enjoying summer. And now you're talking about Christmas. No. Don't make me jump out the stream again.
Uh, yeah.
Mhm.
Great.
But no, like honestly, I know that's why if you blink, that's why people like you can't take anything for granted. You can't take life for granted, people,
No,
opportunities,
no.
time, because you're gonna
That's,
blink and it's gonna be
yeah.
2026. Well, blink it'd be 2030, So
Sheesh. Please
yeah.
don't go there too. You don't want me to be kicked out of the stream. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
What
Yeah,
else?
last week we had a very great conversation with um Inam. It was such a wonderful, wonderful. Those of you who were on the program last week, we had Inam, an Afro spiritualist, Afro spiritual, Afro spiritual artist last week. We had Inam, and it was such a wonderful and a time to reflect on how far we've come as a people, people of African ancestry, and this young lady is going to go places because you know what she
Mhm.
combines African spirituality and her music. And Petra, to tell you, as a person from Ghana, whatever she was preaching, whatever she was saying, made a lot of sense to me because even where she shot the video, when I saw the video, when I looked at the video, Petra, I was so intrigued because um, she used real priestesses. If we say priestesses within the African context, we have our worships. Before Christianity, we had our own forms of worshiping. But we were told that that was bad. So a whole lot of people have shunned it. But where she shot the video and the area where she comes from, you know, there's a history. And the history is that, you know, during colonial times, or I would say during slavery time, sometimes we say colonial times, sometimes we say colonial times, and we leave the word slavery. During colonial times, where she shot a video, the area where she shot a video, that was a place where slaves were sent from West Africa, one of those castles. And she feels that if she goes there, there's some sort of presence there. You could feel it. Just like those of you who have been to Ghana and then you've been to the Elmina Castle, the gate of no return. If you haven't gone to Ghana to visit, I'm plugging in for the Ghana Tourism Authority. Please find time, go to Ghana and go to the Elmina Castle. You will not go back to where your place of residence without shedding tears. You shed tears because you go death without windowless places, prisons in the bottom of the castle. You know the stench there. Sometimes, now, like I was there when I was about 12 years old. It was a police post. Let me digress just a little bit. And I was taken there by my brother, who was visiting the police commander over there. And when they started with their meals and grains, as a young boy, I was wandering around with the commander's children, and I wanted to see what was there. And this police officer said, "Okay, let me take your kids out there." What I saw there made me think twice at that age, folks. I had to think twice. To date, in my from where I sit right now, I don't even want to go past that place. From 12 years old up until now, I do not want to go close to the Elmina Castle because what I saw there at that age was just too tough for me as a person. It molded me to sort of come to understand that humanity should be celebrated. And this is just to say that Enam, where she shot a video once again, folks, she felt some spiritual presence. And I was there when I saw the video that she had sent to us, folks. I just could not watch it. I just could not watch it.
Mm.
And that is the power. The power. Ron, as a matter of fact, Ron was so astounded. Like you just could not because, and she combines the music and the spiritual kind of stuff. And I reflected, and it brought her attention to the fact that if you take the indigenous people in Canada, for instance, they go through the same thing. And man, it was such a wonderful conversation that we had with that young lady. And suffice to say, before we started the show, Petraa, we just got kicked out of the screen.
Oh, wow.
It has never happened to us before.
Mm-hmm. Just like I've been getting kicked out right now. That's never happened before.
I don't know. The whole thing, a listener texted us and said, you are off YouTube. So we had to go back. We said, no. Whatever spirit is behind it, we have to say that we are not going to say anything bad about them. I prayed, short prayer. We went in there. And then bingo, she was there, and we had to start right from scratch. And we honestly didn't regret for what she brought to the table. So those of you who watched the program, or if you didn't watch it, go to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Report, Highway 6 to Africa last week. And the special guest was called Enam, E-N-A-M, the Afro spiritualist or Afro spiritual artist. And it was such a wonderful times. Petraa?
That sounds amazing, TYB. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed it because I did have another engagement, but it sounds like an amazing way to connect the music. I mean, a lot of people, I think music can be channeled in many different ways, right? And I feel like people express music differently. Some people, they express music, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, but music is a spiritual tool,
Yeah.
And when you sing from that aspect, it can be very powerful, and it can really allow you to connect to others, really connect to yourself and really express yourself,
Yeah.
So that sounds like it was an amazing show.
Yeah, and I to put it there before we come to the main thing. I also visited whilst I was in Ghana a couple of years ago, a slave castle for women.
Oh wow!
It was a castle is for women. So it was in Senyabreko, on the coast of Accra, one of those towns. And as soon as I got there with a friend of mine, he's passed away. As soon as I got there, I felt the presence. I felt the presence of something. Something was there. Powerful. You get there. So it wasn't a big castle, very small castle, but it was for women. It was built for women who were transported to Denmark, in Europe, and so those areas. So when we speak of African spirituality, I think we have seen some, especially Petraa, with the South African group Songra. Remember we interviewed them? They are in that same. They are in the same kind of thing, and I think a lot of African artists are going back to the roots to bring the connection, combined with the music to bring it to the world. And it looks so great, and I'm so grateful that people are not going to be looked at as, oh, this was primitive, because before colonialism and slavery, we had a spiritual worshiping, but we were told, hey, it's bad. This is bad. It was bad. And then we shunned it. But still, if you go to most parts of Africa, yes, they're still practicing it. Nobody can take that, but it's there. But then, people look down on it and say, oh, you're not a Christian. No, but we are all people. We had what we had, because within the African context, we call the heavens is the Father, and the ground is the Mother. So we call the Father and the Mother created us.
Yeah, amazing.
We believe that there's something up there. So we cannot nothing can be imposed onto us. Yesterday, I don't know, I read something better before.
Mhm.
the Church of England is dropping the word church.
Mm.
They are going to call it community.
Hmm.
That's right.
Mm.
Church of England. That was just by the way. Let's go to.
Yeah. No, that's food for thought. We always have to question why people do certain things. So
Mm,
just to
yeah,
be aware and say, okay,
yeah,
making out that.
mhm,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, the word church and the word community. Essentially, like, they're very similar, but they mean different things. So
Mhm.
we can't lose sight of one, but still embrace both. At the
That's right.
same time. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. What do we have in the world of reggae? Because it's summertime, everybody is bopping and jiving and doing all sort of stuff. What what do you have for us? I'm not
I
trying to
mean,
put on the
well,
spot.
there's so many things happening, especially in Toronto. So
Yeah.
as people do know, um, Caravan is coming up. All the
Ooh.
festivals are coming up. That's coming up towards the end of July, beginning of August. I will be playing mass, so I'm excited. Hey,
Ah!
gonna have me a costume. Have some fun.
Mhm.
And yeah, so many different festivals are going to be happening for reggae music. I know there's going to be a concert happening as well very shortly. It's going to be with Turbulence,
Wow.
and also I know Candice Cash, also Laser Curtain. That's going to be happening um, actually this evening. Saturday, June 28th. And that's going to be at JJ's Bar and Lounge. So in the world of reggae, that's going to be happening. So that's exciting for in Toronto. Head down to there. And also, as well as being Canada Day, is also International Reggae Day on July 1st.
Ooh. That's
So
Tuesday.
yeah, I beg your pardon.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah, so the same day as Canada Day. So as well as us celebrating Canadian independence, us lovers of reggae culture will also be celebrating International Reggae Day as well. You know what I mean? So make sure you put on your red, yellow, and green. You pump your reggae music. You know what I mean, and just keep that energy of love, high vibration, light, peace, unity going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Afrofest is next weekend too.
Nice, love that
Yes,
Afrofest.
that's
And we
right.
recently had Peter on, didn't we, from Afrofest?
Yes, yes, yes. We had Peter on, and they have some great lineups this year as well. Every year they have great shows, and it's going to be awesome. And yeah, Caribana is coming too. I still call it Caribana, no matter
I
what
know
you
we
do.
all do. Oh,
It's
it's the
still Caribana.
Caribbean festival now.
Yeah.
Proper. Yeah.
I read something says reggae is thriving with a mix of timeless roots and fresh voices. Artists like Shensi, Kimani Mali, and Busy Signal are dropping tracks that blend classic rhythms with modern flair. Says check Reggae Music 2025 Best Song and Top Hits for a curated playlist featuring hits like I'll Be Fire and Blessings for deeper spiritual vibe. The best
Nice.
music, reggae music 2025 spiritual vibes. Mix is it's a must listen. That's what I've heard about.
It's a what? Sorry.
It's a must listen to playlist.
Yeah, there's so many artists out there that are doing some big things. Shensia is really good. Busy Signal, all the Marleys are representing. You know what I mean? Just reggae in general. I feel like reggae is definitely gonna come with something new. There's a lot of Canadian reggae artists as well that are now on the scene. So yeah, that are doing their thing too. So it's just literally just to keep that energy going. Keeping the movement going and just really getting more and more young people involved in the sound. That's one thing that we in the reggae community see with the Afrobeat community. There's a lot of young people involved. And it's the youth that really keep the music and the sound alive. You know.
Yeah, and that augurs well for reggae because and it was kind of teetering down, and now I've seen a lot of young people, embracing it once again. And would you say that we are in an era of collaborations? Because now I can see a lot of artists collaborating. Would you say that that's the era where we are heading to? Or?
Well, just to kind of touch on reggae as well, like I think people have to also understand reggae. When reggae kind of came around, or when reggae did come around, it was more considered to be like the roots of reggae, more like revolutionary music. You know, it kind of encapsulated the time, and I feel like, I mean, with what's happening right now, and I don't want to get into like what's happening in the news and such, but we're
Mhm.
heading into a time where, you know, people need a sound to express how they feel in that moment, you know? And I feel like the roots reggae, foundation reggae represents that, you know? So as the times continue, people gravitate towards what aligns with them. So it's just to keep that in mind and watch the music, you know, because the music is very telling of the time, telling of the times we're in, you know? When it comes to collaborations, yeah, I feel like a lot more collaborations are gonna emerge. I mean, there's a collaboration that I really love right now, which is Charlie Pop and Burna Boy. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm loving that collaboration. You know, loving Burna Boy right now. Like it's coming out with some hits. You know,
Mhm.
but yeah, and I saw I think Tyler recently connected with WizKid, and I
Yes.
want to touch on that as well recently. I want to talk about that as well in a bit. But yeah, I feel like the collaborations are coming because I think right now people, especially after COVID, artists they realize there's power in numbers. They have to collaborate in order for it to stay alive. There's been so much happening in the music industry behind the scenes, especially with this whole like Diddy case and such, that has impacted the music. So even though we don't see that it has direct connection and impact on other genres of music, it's still all quote unquote urban music in a sense. We're all connected. You know what I mean? And a lot of those artists have collaborated and connected with American artists who have, you know what I'm saying, are connected over there too, right? So yeah. So
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah. No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, essentially, yeah, as I said, artists kind of need to stick together, you know, and it's not meant to just be locally or you know just within a genre. They kind of have to push the boundaries to capture and keep people's attention, because people's attention nowadays is not like, if you don't catch their attention in the first couple of seconds, first couple of minutes, and you lost them, you know what I mean? So I think the collaborations will really make the music industry, the game, a lot more interesting. And yeah, I'm looking to see where it's going to go.
Yeah. Man, we have had a discussion on this before about which way it will go. Because if you and I up and then make a hit, right? It means from that time onwards, we have to be able to align our schedule, because I don't think, or we have not seen somebody going out to sue artists who have come out with a song and say, okay, yeah, sure, they like the song and he's going to be playing this and stuff like that. The song became a hit. And then when one of us goes on a tour, how would the audience or the fans, how are they going to take it? Because it was a collab that made it big. So does it mean that they can come in and say, you know what, I'm not going to take this because you guys made that hit, and where's the other person? This is what
Mm,
because yeah,
yeah.
go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think it depends, to be honest, right? Because again, it depends on a person's schedule, like you said. You know, I mean, if this person has a concert here, this person has a tour here, you know, the audience has to kind of just be understanding as long as they give in notice. I think I remember we interviewed an artist on the show, you know, and he mentioned about him
Yeah.
wanting to perform a song, but the other artist never turned. The other artist couldn't turn up, and the promoter told the audience, you know, that, or told people that the other artist would turn up, and then when he came to perform, and people came, the other artists went. Then they had to give the money back to the concert goers, you know. So I mean, yeah, like you want to avoid those types of things as long as you are open, you know. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. He probably was like, I don't want to tell people because if I tell them, I'm gonna lose money. But then it's like if you don't tell them, you end up losing the money anyway because you weren't honest. So you probably would have been able to, you probably would have made a little bit less money or maybe the same, and you know, versus losing all of it because you weren't honest. You know what I mean? It's a lesson.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember it was Camido. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it was Camido. Yeah, I like the collab side of it. I do because I would like to collaborate with somebody from a different genre of music,
yeah. Mm,
say Afro Greek, Afro something,
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
out of that kind of, say if we all do Afrobeat to collab with you, we're listening to the same thing, right? It's like this how I take it. It's like I live in Toronto and I
Mm-hmm.
want to go to Jamaica. I if I want to go to Jamaica, I'm going to Jamaica to go and see how Jamaica is all about,
Mm-hmm.
right? I cannot leave Toronto and go to Jamaica and stay in my hotel, go to Kingston, and then that's it. And I come back. It's
Mm-hmm.
from one kind of I don't know, one capital. Whatever I might see in Toronto, I may possibly see it in Kingston. But then
Yeah.
if I can go to outlying areas, then it means, you know what, I've, this how I'm looking at it. So this just to say, if I want to collaborate with somebody, I would like to do it on a different kind of a separate kind of a way, instead of we being in the same genre, playing the same genre of music, doing the same collab. I'll beg to differ on that, please.
What's the last thing you said, TYB? I couldn't hear you.
What's your thought on it? Like, would you like to collab with somebody doing reggae, being doing the same thing?
I don't mind. I mean, I have collaborated, like, you know, I had that collaboration with Ras Morgan that went to number
Yeah.
one, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
So yeah. So that was pretty good. I haven't had a chance to do much collaborations outside of my genre, but I
Hmm.
definitely would, you know,
Yeah.
because like essentially like how I ended up in reggae is in England, I grew up around that sound, you know, but like by culture, I'm not Jamaican, you know, which a lot of people are like, oh, you know, no, I'm not. But I love
Mhm.
Jamaica's culture, used to live there because Jamaica, you know. But yeah, I'm Vincentian and Kittian, you know, so the music from my island is mostly soca music, you know. I think the sound that gravitates towards you is the sound that you're meant to express, you know.
Mhm.
And I mean, I did actually write a soca song. I never got a chance to record it yet. And people have wanted to do collaboration with me outside of
Eric
my genre.
Zine. Eric Zine. Eric Zine.
Yeah, Eric, wonderful, amazing voice, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely open to it, and I think it makes the music interesting. Like when you were
Mhm.
talking about that, what came to mind was like Bangra, you know, like Bangra hip hop.
That's right.
I love honestly Bangra hip hop. You know, there's some songs I just put on and I'm just bumping to. Like I just love the play on that. Like even reggaeton. Reggaeton is that like that salsa
That's
mixed with the reggae, like you know.
that's
So
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
but I feel there's so many more sounds out there yet to be birthed, you know? And
Hmm.
we're in an exciting time because the young people are very creative these days, you know? There's even a one that when I went to the Jamaican Music Conference, you know,
Hmm.
they were talking about a sound called trap hall, you know? So I
It's
haven't
called
heard
what?
about it. Pardon?
What else it called?
Called trap hall. So it's like dancehall and trap music. So like hip
Wow.
hop and dancehall together. So
Hmm.
that is also a sound. So there are some new genres out there. It's just that they're being birthed. They have a small community.
Hmm.
When it comes to the mainstream, like the wave's already been around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just to kind of just to keep our ears to the ground and listen for that new sound and hear it creep into the mainstream. But I can, like, knowing what I know trap hall, I can look at some mainstream artists and know that they have adapted some of those underground sounds into their mainstream sound, but they're just not giving it that title. Like, another thing, coming from the UK, like when I first got into radio, I had a radio show called Represent, and I used to do UK garage, grime, funky house, and ragga jungle, you know? And I loved that because that was the UK sound, you know? That was a sound that was birthed. It was birthed from house music to garage music to grime music, you know, and then you have the ragga jungle. So it's like the UK dance, like electro sound, but mixed in with reggae or mixed in with R&B or mixed in with hip hop. And then now I've watched grime transfer over to UK hip hop, you know? It's a little bit disappointing in the name because it's kind of like, it's not UK hip hop, it's grime. Okay, like that's our sound. Okay, it's that sound that we created. But again, for the mainstream, you have to package it in a way that, you know, is easily digestible to the masses. So it's a lot easier to sell. So from a business standpoint, I understand. However, from the root standpoint, it was birthed, you know, out of something, you know. So yeah, it kind of makes me feel sad knowing that like that has been taken away. However, it's beautiful to see how the genre has grown. Like, so many more people know UK artists, they know the UK sound. It's now UK hip hop is now connecting or in with the American hip hop. So now you'll have Drake featuring UK artists, you know, rapping with the UK style on an American, you know, track with an American artist. So we're at a time where we're seeing the birth and of beautiful things happening because of collaborations, you know, people from across the pond connecting and birthing new sounds, you know, that are enlightening and growing new audiences.
Yeah. And you saying that's very interesting because I saw some of these cultural crossovers, right? Yeah. It says Afrobeat is influencing pop, R&B, and even EDM, while reggae continues to inspire conscious lyrics and soulful melodies worldwide. Artists like Sabrina and Becca Diamond are blending Afrobeat with global sounds, proving that these genres are more than music. They are movements. Right? They are movements. The Afrobeat and reggae. Wow, that's interesting. On Sundays, we have Sunday at 8 p.m. we have DJ Silverback. And last week, man, the guy did Afrobeat jazz.
Oh, wow.
My God, it was like, damn, how did these Afrobeat, Burna Boy and Wizkid, their music, jazz, pure jazz.
Wow.
With some,
that's amazing.
Yes. So like you're saying, I try to understand where there's a new sort of stuff going on there. Just like I talked about Inam. Blending, right? And she calls it Afro. And I said, Inam, I have never heard this before. I said, maybe you've birthed just like you birthed something new. It's a movement. I've never heard of Afro spiritual genre music. Beautiful music.
Yeah, I heard some. It's very beautiful, you know?
Yeah. And I asked her, I said, so on stage, no, I think Ron asked, I said, on stage, how do you perform with the band? And, you know, she says, yeah, band. But before I do that, I do some rituals. I incorporate spirituality, music, congas and stuff like that into the music. And if you listen to her, it's amazing. It's very, I don't know how to, to express it. Very beautiful, just like you're saying. I think I'm in total agreement with you because new coming genres, it looks great for the music industry because we are not going to get stuck in one thing and one thing. Well, the basics will be there. Nobody can take them away from them. But sometimes you may have to digress and then just jump in that pool, and then come back because you're tagged as that. right? I cannot go and do reggae. I said before, I had a contract with A&M back then, back in the day, and they wanted me to do calypso. I turned it.
Yes.
I
Are you
turned it.
serious?
Yes, I turned it down because that is not my cup of tea, right? That is not who I am. I'm not a soca artist, so I had to turn it down. So in
Mm.
essence, I give it to those who do it, and if they come and then we have
Yeah.
to collab, fine. Then I'll bring my thing on the table, and then we just have it done. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Things are changing very fast within our industry.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm excited to see where it's gonna go, you know? I think it's just gonna I think it's just gonna lead to more amazing music. It's just like I just feel like with the industry, right? I mean, there's the birth of all this amazing, wonderful music, and that's the creative side, you know. But my thing is like, my thing is I want to observe to see how the industry, quote unquote, industry is gonna handle these all these different genres, because I think for the industry it has been easy for them just to shove people into boxes. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
know, like just shove them into the country or shove them into the pop, shove them into the R&B soul, you know, shove them into the hip hop. But now hip hop has so many subgenres, you know, and
Yeah.
some of those subgenres have subgenres. You know what I mean? So it's like so musically, I'm so excited. I'm so excited musically. I'm also very interested to see where the industry is going to go or where it's going to be, because I feel like the crumbling down of certain systems, old systems, things being revealed is an opportunity for rebirth in a way that will support the creatives and the artists in a more beneficial way that allows us to have more control over our creations, over the music. And I think that essentially needs to happen, you know? Artists now versus 10 years ago are a lot more informed about the music, you know? How contracts work, marketing, to the point where there's a lot more successful independent artists nowadays. So my question is just to watch how this whole story is going to unfold in that way. What are your thoughts on that, TRB?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of work out there for artists who know, but artists should, right? You see, we're talking about the genres and the collabs and stuff like that, but most of the time we don't talk about the business behind it. But since your company deals with those kind of stuff, I think it's we don't know how it's going to be, but we have to move the two along in terms of contractual agreements, in terms of marketing. There's so much that is coming with the advent of um, AI and all those kind of stuff. And I think, basically speaking, my whole thinking is that I don't think we've scratched the surface. We don't know where we're going into. Sometimes I have the hope, and some other times I question myself as to where it is going, because companies are merging.
Mm.
Yes, Sony and I think Sony and what's his name?
Yes, Sony and oh my gosh, yeah.
Right. You see,
I'll
this
tell
is
you
where
right now.
it's very dangerous for artists. Unless artists go out there and to be indie, right? If you're indie, I would be better off because you control what you have to control. Just like how Taylor Swift, she's wealthy, but she had to
Yeah,
fight to take back her stuff, right?
yeah, I
So
know.
so she can do whatever she wants to do. So I'm saying this to say, collabing and the changing trend of the music industry is something that there has to be a discussion, a great discussion about it. And having to say that um, August 9th, Jack First comes back. Jack First in Toronto. Yes, annual Jack First Festival is coming up. And guess what?
Oh yes, the
Yes,
Jerk
Vaughn is there.
Festival.
Vaughn is coming. Tyrus Riley is coming. Agent Sars is
Nice.
coming.
She's
You know,
royal.
that's right. And yeah, we'll be having a conversation with all of them individually on how to Africa. Yes, I can tell you that. Tyrus Riley is coming. He's a special guest. Valiant is coming. Vaughn is coming. Yes, folks. So just watch out on how we says to Africa. You know, we surprise people. People wonder as to how we are able to come there. Because, hey, Petra, myself, and Ron, we are in the industry. So when they come and then we have conversations, they feel at home. So that's why we are able to.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. It's not a gotcha kind of program. We give them time to express themselves. It's a conversation, not an interview.
Exactly.
August the 9th, Jack First. Jack First in Toronto. Last year, I think Conscience was sick.
Talking about
And there were others. So it's going to be awesome in Toronto. Yeah, back to what guys with this collab and all
Oh,
this.
one more thing, TYB. Don't
Go ahead.
forget July 12th as well. We're also going to have Voices of the Millennial hosted by Love Bay Radio. We cannot
that's-
forget that.
Mhm.
That's the Be the Light Youth Summit happening in 2025. There's going to be so many amazing speakers. Miss J is going to be speaking, Prince Ari, Ayo Ajani, Isaiah Christopher, and also one of my favorites, Benjamin Paul. Oh my gosh, I love this young man. He's
Oh,
a
my
young, how old is Benjamin again?
12.
12 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 12 years old. I've seen this kid speak twice. So that means the first time I heard him speak, he was 10 years old. And this kid, he's 12. He knows how to move a crowd. He even has his own clothing line. So
Yes.
he is definitely someone that the kids can definitely come out and hear speak. He's such an inspiration. Like he's so amazing. So definitely come out. July 12th is happening at 2 p.m. hosted by Love Bay Radio. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. The entry is free. So you get to come to a free event where you get to be inspired, empowered, and see what the next generation is doing. Like, do not miss out, guys. So this is going to be available on Eventbrite, Discover Your Purpose, and also another wonderful thing that Love Bay is doing through the Voice of Millennials. They're also going to be giving out scholarships, okay? And I've been seeing Love Bay do this over the past couple of years, and honestly, there's times where I'm brought to tears when I see these scholarships go out because there's a lot of young people who are doing some amazing things, and you know they need the support. You know, so Love Bay is doing an amazing thing by supporting these young people. So reach out to Love Bay as well. You know, if you are a student that needs a bit of financial support, you know, reach out to Love Bay. There are certain criterias, but definitely, like, you know, reach out. You know, it's an amazing support. TRB, did you want to jump in as well?
Oh, you spoke about Jimin. Young guy, young kid can get everybody up and running, standing ovation. I've seen him.
Yes.
You give this young kid a standing ovation because he speaks with power.
Yes.
With power, and he knows exactly what he is saying. He blends everything. If he don't, he can speak 24 hours.
Yeah.
24 hours, and he has his own clothing line. He started it.
Yes.
10. Amazing young kid. And also, Mr. Christophe is, he was born paraplegic, if I can put it that way. And he's an Olympian, special Olympian for Canada. He's training in BC, and he accepted it to come down to help support it. The main purpose is to get young people to look at themselves to see that, you know what, if those people who are not as strong as us can do that, why can't I do it? That's the whole purpose. So you have to be the light, and they are being the light for others to follow. So
exactly.
All that you have to do is write an essay about community service. That's all it is. That's all it is. So you just have to go onto Eventbrite, like Petra said, and register. Send in your essay, and it will be read by the sponsors. And if they deem that yours is good, they will give you the scholarship. So that's what we've been doing. It's our community initiative that we did about 4 years ago. And when we started Petra, we were doing it out of pocket. But right now, some individuals within the community also have been coming out to support it. Some companies, and so it's something that we feel we have to give back to the community. Even though we are a not-for-profit organization and a radio station, we feel we have to reach out and touch a lot of people. That's the basis of the scholarship scheme on the Voices of the Millennials Youth Summit. We enjoy doing it. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. It has to be spoken about. Love Bay. Love Bay does some amazing things in the community, Voice of the Millennials, Christmas. Oh my gosh, guys, if you know, Love Bay for Christmas goes
See,
above and beyond for the kids.
Petra, you mentioned the word Christmas. When I said it, you were booked out. Oh no, yes, yes,
Well,
yes. Go ahead, please.
it.
Yes, go ahead,
Because
please. Yes.
it connects onto the work that Love Bay does, Love Bay is always giving back to the community, not even just the community in general, but also giving out to the homeless,
Yes.
also to the artists, just having the platform, the platform for the community and being there for the community. The word Love Bay is really fitting to what the station stands for, and it has to be said. And I just want to definitely shout out, the entire team, but namely and especially TYB and Jan, because
Oh,
yeah, I had to shout you both out. I love you both to the moon and back to the world, like to infinity and beyond.
thank
And
you.
there's so many people that feel the same about both of you because you've made such an impact, and I just remember your story, TYB, about when you gave that gentleman your CD, and what he did with your CD. Like, he didn't appreciate the music, but you took that was a turning point. And a lot of people would have taken that disappointment and then just given up.
Yeah.
But you use that not even as a disappointment, use that as motivation and inspiration to push forward. And years later, you and Jan have created an amazing empire that has really given back to the world. I can't even say it's local to the world, and it's just amazing. So I definitely want to commend the two of you, for all your hard work on the air and off the air, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, off the air, like as much as
And
you
you
hear them on
too.
there.
And you too.
I
We
know we're talking about you guys right now. We're talking about you
your
right now.
support. Your support. You can do. See, you cannot build a house without the foundation and the support. So the support from the community and from a whole lot of people, we appreciate it, and we're doing the best that we can. It's not about money. We put in resources ourselves, and we run a food bank as well to
Yes.
feed we have seniors programs and stuff like that. But it's something that we love to do. Originally it was supposed to be music, only music, and we said no, we are much more than music. So we have other programs on this station to include this our program, Highway 6 to Africa. Cannot wait every Saturday to come and have a chat, and then express ourselves to the maximum when it comes to um, our music industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then through that, we've learned a lot from Grammy Award winners and Juno Award winners, or uh, what award winners. No, we don't discriminate. If your music is good and then we feel we can highlight you, we come in here, we highlight you, we have a conversation. That's all it is. So we come in here every Saturday to 4 o'clock to impart our knowledge, to learn from others, and make the system work. And every time that we want, even today, we were so tired. We had so many things that we had to do, but we said no. We have to come and speak, on topics, news and topics in the music industry. That's what we are sharing right now. So that's how we have our conversation. It's not about any big topic and those. No, we have conversations that relate strictly to artists around the globe, and we are saying, hey, keep on doing what we are doing because you make us laugh, you make us cry, you turn us, inside out, and we try as much as possible to also, speak up about the industry, the pitfalls, and what needs to be done as an artist. Because if you are, it's the music industry is not an easy place. People think it's easy. It's
Ah.
like, yeah, it's like a jungle. If you lose sight, you'll be eating for lunch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, see, a lot of people think that, okay, you go to the studio singing blah 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 blah, and then that's it. Oh, they know, oh, that's TYB and stuff like that. But what is behind it is what we hardly talk about, the business side of it.
Exactly.
Since you are in that business, your company markets and give advices and stuff like that. Please take it over and let's discuss that. What people have to do, because you have a company that markets artists. Tell us about the company, and you know what? It's all included in what we are doing, because I appreciate what you're doing, because some artists make it and they forget about their past, right? And some make the money and then they don't have any foundation. They don't even do anything. This is just to say that I appreciate what M2DH in Jamaica does. Makes them
Yes. Shout out
fees.
to M to the H.
That's right. And then fees the seniors in his community and stuff. There are others, I'm not saying all of them. A lot of them do stuff. They don't say it. But with what we have right now with your company, please, let's sell your company right now to the audience, the new artists, what have you. Anybody who will be interested in doing that, please.
Sorry, I couldn't hear the last thing you said, TYB.
What to tell us about the company and how young artists who want to go into this industry, because I indicated that
Yes,
it's a very dangerous industry. It's not as nice and cozy as we see it. If you don't take care, you'll be eating for lunch one afternoon. It's a jungle out there. It's not like, okay, I've made a track, I've made the music, and everybody's blah 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 blah. But the business behind it is what I'm talking about.
most definitely. Yeah, so through my company, PKG Digital Marketing, I'm focusing on music consulting for artists, right? And I want to just backtrack for a second, because you made a good point about artists and what we do on this show in relation to touching upon the business of the music industry. I mean, it's great that we highlight artists, but we touch upon the reality of the industry and things that artists need to know, And I came across this recent clip. It was of Fantasia, and she was recently speaking to Gabby Simone, a former American Idol contestant during a concert in Baltimore. And I actually saw that clip, and honestly, it just kind of like, it shook me a little bit, because she was talking to this young lady and she was saying to her, you know what? Like, you have an amazing talent, but be mindful of this industry, and you could tell, like, the words she was saying, there was a lot more things you have to read between the lines. So you guys definitely check out that clip, Fantasia and Gabby Simone. But there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. She even said something about how you could go on stage and perform and then go home and have nothing, That's happened to countless artists, countless icons. Look at Prince. Prince even had to change his name, So, I mean, what I definitely like to do is connect with artists and just pretty much have a look at where they're at and really help them just to kind of achieve certain goals on the way to where they're going, but also provide them with the knowledge that they need to make the right decisions and the right steps, And I do have a large network of people. So, I mean, there's lots of room for collaboration and connection in there as well. But it's essentially about having the information and just being prepared and knowing how to navigate this very tumultuous terrain that we call the music industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. So people can reach out to me. My social media at Petra's Music. So PETRAAS Music. And also at PKG Digital Marketing. You can find me on Instagram and all social media platforms.
Yeah. Great. I mean, you're doing some great work there. Most often than not, we don't discuss how to sign contracts, what we have to read in between the lines and stuff like that. I remember, I don't know whether I have mentioned this. My son Kwame is a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
He does hip hop and stuff. Now he's changing, and he has a YouTube channel. So Love on the Bay,
Nice.
Love on the Bay, and he's compiled stuff there. He's very astute, very very good. Um, he used to write hip hop. Right now, he's mixing Afrobeat and hip hop,
Amazing.
and he did a couple of tracks back then, and I never knew that he had written some tracks and then zipped it to one a big hip hop artist in the United States. I didn't know that.
Mm.
Yes, and the artist used it. There was no contractual agreement to him and his cousin. They were just writing. So they zip it. Oh, guys, send it. They were just shopping it around, and boom, they became the two tracks or three tracks became hits. This artist, this big artist, hip hop artist, recorded it, and we didn't know anything about it. So I said, you know what? I asked him, did you guys talk to anybody? He said, no, we just gave it to him. No, you made a mistake. And then another artist, another even bigger than the other one, artist, used the same track to market his energy drink.
Wow.
You see, I'm saying this to say that there were no written agreements and contractual agreements and stuff like that. So when he brought it to my attention, we went to an entertainment lawyer friend of mine. This is what we have. It is, we forget about it. I said, well, why? He says, you need about 40 or 50 grand to start it. And I said to myself, okay. He says, yeah, even if I have 50 grand, what to be there for in there for? I says, you can win at the first stage, but they can keep on appealing. You keep appealing till you don't have any more money to come after them. Right? So this is just to say that business, if they had written a contract or an agreement or something,
yeah,
you could have gone back, fallen down on it, but they didn't, because they were doing it just like that. But and the music is still playing, and people are trying to get the instrumental. They want to still know who wrote those tracks.
Wow.
They've been texting. There's a computer that they've been. This I'm talking about 9 years ago. People want to know who wrote the tracks, but he has the instrumentals.
But he can still get the music credits, though.
The music credits.
He still makes music. Yeah,
that's right. But did we have to go all through all this kind of stuff? No. The lawyer said, you know what, you got to have 50 grand to start with, right? 50 grand. I'll set up a studio and then do. But then this just to say that if you are an artist out there and then you are coming out, or even if you are there, don't be swollen headed and say, okay, I am this. But if you are this, you are not that. You have to be able to have an entertainment lawyer, somebody to read into what you are doing. Because in this era, if you don't do that, you'll be cooked. Because on this radio station, we are licensed to play every type of music.
Yeah,
you have to know what you have to do.
Exactly.
That's right. If you don't do it, because I'm an artist, I want somebody to pay me. I get my royalties sometimes, most times, but I don't go after that. But then if you don't do it, you are doing a disservice to yourself and your artistry.
Exactly. Yeah, most definitely. TYB, what a show, eh?
Yes, you know what? And that's what I would say whenever we come here. We just come here to impart our knowledge and what have you, to discuss stuff. It's not every time that we got to have guests, but hey, we've lined up some great guests for you. Tyrus Bradley will be coming down.
Woo!
Still talking. Fun, Valiant, and a lot of other artists that will be coming through. But then, folks, if you are out there, if you are an artist, reach out to us. lovebabetracks@gmail.com. Send us your music. If it's clean, we'll play it. If it's not clean, forget about it. Yeah, that's
Take
right.
it back and remix
That's
the
right.
new one.
That's right. There's no payola. We don't charge you anything. We don't charge you anything because I'm an artist. I know how. You know what? I got to where I was and came to where I am right now. At least it's good to win accolades, but then it was a hard road to travel at a time
Yeah.
when, yeah, it was a time when we didn't even have, as African musicians in the city of Toronto, we didn't have any a place to play. I used to play in
Mm.
rock and roll clubs. Yes, rock and roll clubs. I,
Mm.
that's right. I never gave up, and those clubs are still there, and I'll forever appreciate them. You go there, you are playing a different type of music, but you know at the back of your mind, it's a rock and roll place. They've given you the chance.
Exactly, and that's
That's
all
right.
we need. We're thankful for
That's
it.
all you need. So
Exactly.
I've learned my lessons over the years, and it was a pleasure with CBC Records back then and the African Guitar Summit. Yeah, we did what we had to do, and the pleasure is ours, and the accolades that we got is there. Planet Africa Awards and all those kind of stuff. So, no, this is just to say that if you're an artist out there, think about your future in terms of what you sign. If you haven't signed anything, run as fast as possible. You may contact Petra. She will take you through the motion, or you if you have a lawyer, just go there because there's a lot of money being made by the likes of um, Sony and what's the company that that's fighting with they are not fighting, that's vibing with Afro charts,
Oh,
Spotify.
Spotify. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Spotify, yes, they make money much more than the top tier musicians. I was reading something on
For now.
for now. I was I like that. I was reading something yesterday, and somebody a top artist said the amount of money that they give you can never pay a month's rent.
Exactly. Never.
Never.
Like you getting 0.0. Like honestly, that's why. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm an energy person too, just like the guest from last week. And I feel like energetically, it could only go one way for so long. Like it can swing one way for a little bit, but eventually the pendulum's gonna swing back the other way.
That's
And
right.
they said the meek shall inherit the earth.
Yeah. 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 So it barely pays the rent, but people flog themselves. Oh, my music is streaming on Spotify. I've got 300,000 or 400,000 views. And how much are you getting?
Did you
That's
get $400,000 though?
that's the
About
thing.
400,000 views.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Wow.
So what
But you
we've
know
learned.
what though?
Go ahead, please.
So go ahead, TYB. I didn't mean to
No,
cut
no,
you off. Go
no,
ahead.
no. Go ahead. No,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, like, again, it's a double-edged thing, right? Because for us as a musician, as an artist, our payment is pretty much people's ears, actually having people listen to our music.
That's
Because
right.
we understand energetically, like if we're making good music, great music, you want to impact people. But it's the business, it's the industry that takes advantage of that. Because an artist doesn't inherently get into the music industry, say, okay, I want to make money. I'm an artist to make money. You're an artist to express yourself, to connect. But people that don't have good intentions want to exploit that. So that's why that power has to come back to the creatives. There needs to be more creative people in the industry making decisions, and less people who are not creative in the industry making decisions. That's what's ruining it. You know what
That's
I mean?
right. That's right. So in that aspect, sometimes people feel like, okay, why don't I go indie? See, I think the space has changed a little bit because if they don't sign you, you have TikToks,
Pfft,
have the YouTubes, you have that.
exactly.
So actually, if
Even
you learn
more.
the more, you don't even need them.
Marketing is so you honestly, all you need to know is how to run paid ads. You're good to
That's
go. Learn how to
that's
run paid ads, learn how to build organic traffic, make a lot of content, and push yourself, and you own your brand. It's going to take you a little bit longer. Yeah, it is, but that's how the elders did it, because if it takes a bit longer, then you're going to appreciate what you have. A lot of these people that get signed, the first 1-2 years is amazing. After that, it's like torture, because you realize you signed over your soul in a sense. You signed over for a
Your
couple of millions of dollars in the first few years to do 6 albums, but those 6 albums could take you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So you have to be wise in the decisions that you make.
That's right. You have to be wise. You have to be wise. Listen to what Petraa is saying. Listen to what I'm also saying. Be careful out there. Don't take the fact that you've made a hit or stuff. You're starting out, because that's within the industry. So don't think that everything that glitters is always gold. No, it's not. It could be copper. You know what? So be careful out there. Yeah, Petraa, take us home.
Most definitely. Well, honestly, I love these shows, TYB. I mean, I love the shows when we have guests, but I also love these kind of shows too, though, we can have conversations and touch upon different points in the industry, and people can actually hear us have a conversation, and yeah, because we both have, well, as well as Ron, we all have experience, and it's great for us to be able to impart that onto our listeners worldwide, and to also just celebrate our listeners too. So definitely want to shout out everyone listening from all over the world, TYB had the chance sometimes to read up all the different countries. There's so many. Do you want to tell us some of the countries that listened in today?
Oh yes, I can tell you right now, folks. I can tell you, because we always have the ears of so many people, and I'm going to give you the first 50 countries, and then you know what, we have if you are in the United Kingdom, all of you out there in the United Kingdom with your numbers, we thank you for being here. United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Russia, Singapore, Germany, France, Bolivia, Bulgaria, Iran, Ireland, Romania, Italy, China, Colombia, India, Brazil, Ghana, Spain, Colombia, Ireland, Czech, Denmark, Poland, Sweden, Austria, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Portugal, Algeria, Argentina, Nigeria, Belarus, Senegal, Ethiopia, Belgium, Morocco, Tanzania, Ukraine, Cameroon, Kenya, Suriname, Gambia, Turkey, Rwanda, United Arab Emirates. We thank you all for listening to us. We appreciate you. This is just the first 50. The system is still
and we
telling
love you all too. From
love
Love
you all.
Bay, we love you.
We love you. Share the station with your friends and your friends' friends. And if you are new here, let them know that you've discovered a radio station with a difference. That's Loudly Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Petraa?
Most definitely. So thank you again, TYB. Thank you again to all the wonderful listeners worldwide. Shout out to you, Ron, on your bike ride. I hope you won. Bring back the medal, okay? Bring it back to the team.
If you don't win, don't come back here. I know you've won something, Ron. All right.
But yeah. So yeah, you're gonna see us here. I may not be here next week, but I'll be back the following week. So
That's
Ron
right.
TYB will be here. But thank you for joining us on the Highway 6 to Africa. Like this week, it was me and TYB in the convertible, the 2-seater, riding top down, full steam ahead on the Highway 6 to Africa. And we're going to catch you guys back here next week, Saturday, from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Happy Canada Day to all our Canadians. Happy Independence Day, July 4th to all our Americans. Happy July 1st to all our reggae lovers for International Reggae Day. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, Love Bay family.
Bye-bye.
Bye.